Hello everyone, I wanted to jump in and really quickly talk to you about food additives and 3 things. So how are food additives approved, who approves food additives, and how they test food additives. I had to look at my notes. So I am going to start with what exactly is a food additive to start with. So a food additive is something added into our food to change either the taste, the texture, or the appearance. So if I'm thinking, let's say, a food color, that is going to be added into our food to literally just change the appearance of the product. It doesn't offer any nutritional benefit. In fact, there's a lot of things that food colors should be avoided, but they're only added in there to change the look of it, right? So they don't do anything else. If I'm thinking something like herbs and spices, which is often listed as an ingredient anyway, but herbs and spices, maybe bicarb, that can be listed as an additive. They're all, serve a purpose. They'll do something else to our food. So understanding what a food additive is huge, because then you get to start figuring out what they all do and what they all mean. Now, there's many things that, there's many food additives that we advocate to avoid. Of course, MSG, annatto, food colors, artificial food colors, a whole range of things for many, many different reasons. But today I really did want to just talk to you guys about what they are and what they do, basically, and who approves them. So who approves them for Australia and New Zealand is the Food Standards Australia New Zealand Board, or corporation, or whatever they're called, government organisation. And when you go to their website, go have a look at it one day. When you go to their website, there's a lot of things on there that don't make a lot of sense. One of the things that they state on their website, and I'm going to read this because I don't want to miss it. They state that a food additive may only be approved for use if it can be shown, pay attention, that no harmful effects are likely to result from their use. So food companies can turn up and show that their food is not going to cause a harmful reaction. The Food Standards Board don't do any testing on this food. So if you're trusting the food company who is making all the money from the product that they're selling to provide the information to the Food Standards Board, call me skeptical, but I'm not a very trusting person when it comes to things like this anymore, because I've read the science and I've learned more information by third-party, independent universities, doctors, scientists, different people all around the place who are saying the opposite to that. So what they're saying in our food standards, what our Food Standards Board are saying is, it might be safe, it might not, we really don't know, but we're just going to say it is because no one said it isn't. I don't know, that doesn't make, like I said, a lot of sense to me. What I get angry about that is there's no proactiveness there. Like, shouldn't our Food Standards Board be keeping us safe? Shouldn't they be the ones that are testing things? When it comes to testing, they don't test food additives collectively. So they don't test food additives they don't test it on people. So they haven't done a study for the last sort of 80 years to deem if food additives are safe in our diet over an 80-year period, as an example. As far as I'm aware, there's no studies done like that. What they might do, what they do is test it on like rats or mice that live like 3-5 years maybe. They test it on guinea pigs or rabbits, which may live a slightly longer lifespan. Domestic pets tend to live around 8 to 10 years as a rabbit. These are not domestic pets, clearly, so I would say their lifespan's a lot shorter than that. So how do they know that over the course of a human lifespan, these things are not causing cumulative effects, right? They don't. So again, call me skeptical or call me, erring on the side of caution here, but I want to know without a shadow of a doubt that the food I am choosing to eat is something that is safe and not going to cause my body any harm over a long period of time. So understanding this then gives you the capacity to go, yeah, okay, maybe I should look a little bit more into this, or, you know, maybe this is something that is causing problems. You know, we don't even know generational problems. Like, if there are studies that say that food is damaging our DNA. Now, again, it's going to get a little bit woo-woo out there and might be a little bit controversial for some people, but if something is damaging my DNA and I eat it and it affects my DNA, and then I fall pregnant and give birth to children, I have created my grandchildren. Just messes with my head, really, but I've created my grandchildren. So what I did in my junior years before having kids has affected my grandchildren. It has, right? So the foods and the things that I've eaten have affected my grandchildren. That's just science, because I've created them. And if it's affecting my DNA, it's going to affect theirs because I've created them. So it's mind-boggling when you start to think about it. But it's so important that we understand this, because it is causing problems. It does change things in years to come. Now, I can't go back and change any of the things that I've done. I can't change my children, but what I can do is now empower them with so much knowledge that they now get to go and make changes to their lifestyle and learn information that will change the rest of their lives and hopefully their children's lives. So, and their grandchildren's lives. Like, it's still mind-boggling, hey? So understanding how they're tested. You know, what they also don't do, this is what they don't do, is they don't test things in conjunction with one another. So as an example, they don't feed a animal, a lab rat, whether it's a guinea pig, mouse, whatever, food like we would eat. So they don't give them cereals and food colours and something for breakfast, and then morning tea and something, and MSG, and then they don't give them, you know, all these things, right? So over the course of a day, a human can eat 30, 40, 50 additives in a day. They don't test that on animals. They test everything in isolation to each other. So again, how do we know what is happening to our bodies? Now, we know because we feel it, right? So I know what happens when I eat a day of junk and a day of additives. I know that now because I feel it, but what I'm saying is they're not testing it that way. So there's no science to say, oh, hold on a minute, like this just seems a little bit overboard. I remember I was 12 before I ate McDonald's, because it wasn't in Tasmania, right? So it first came to Hobart. I remember I was 12. We drove down, not just to go to McDonald's, we drove down to visit my nan, and she took us to McDonald's. I was 12, so I wasn't eating and consuming these things as kids. You possibly weren't either. I look back at the supermarket and I try to remember what we were having in our lunchboxes. It is nothing like what is in lunchboxes today. And it is nothing like what I've packed my kids' lunchboxes like in the past before learning this information. So I fell into the trap of, I'll just grab that, I'll just grab that, I'll just grab that. This is going to make my life so easy, without any understanding of what it was doing. I now understand it, and I'm so grateful that I understand this information, because not only has it changed my life with my thyroid, with my health, with everything in my life, it is also making a dramatic impact in my kids' lives as well. So they get to go and know this information and live however they like to choose, but at least they know the information. So think back to when you were a child. Think back to maybe what you were taking for lunch. Think back to what you guys were eating and doing and living, and the lifestyles we were living as kids, and think what it is now. And it is so easy to, what's the right word? I would have been the perfect poster child for, I'm too busy, I'm not going to make this. You know, I worked full time. My husband worked away. He was in the military, often away 6 months at a time. I was the poster child for, I'll just grab it, right? Now I know, and now I make different decisions. So don't let busyness, like we can get into that mindset of, I'll just grab it because it's going to be easier. Because now I know it wasn't easier, and Joe certainly attests to this as well. It wasn't easy to go to the doctors all the time. It wasn't easy to live in the ER department. It wasn't easy, having a behaviorally challenged child. because of the food choices that she was making, and just trusting the companies to do the right thing. I've learned over the last 7 years that companies are very focused on profits and less focused on people. And that's certainly something that happens in the food industry. We see it. We see the marketing. I look around, maybe even that cereal aisle, and the sports stars and the marketing and the way they write things is so targeting to us, to our children. They have things at the right height level, for our kids to be mum, 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 So just be aware of it all. Start looking at ingredients. If the course is not ready for you, like if you're not ready for the course right now, one thing I will say is don't let fear hold you back though. If you are scared of doing Additive-Free Made Easy because you're scared of the information you might learn, or you're worried that maybe your kids won't, take it on board, or maybe hubby even, or your partner, or maybe you're just worried that you won't have the time. Don't let fear hold you back, because fear can hold us back from a lot of things. And if fear held us back from all the things, one, I wouldn't be here talking to you guys live, but you need to know it so you can understand it, so you can make the choices. And if we don't know the information, we can't make the choice. So please learn how to live additive free. Come and jump on board to Additive-Free Made Easy so that you can understand it all and you can become aware of it all. I don't know if anyone has done it on the call here. I just did a Facebook Live, and there were people on there commenting, how much it had changed their lives and different things. So understanding additives is just massive. And from my thyroid point of view, from the way, it's been able to help me come off medications, just for me, like I started looking at additives when Joe was looking at them, and I started noticing things in my own kids. So I started with the kids, very quickly became all about me and how it could impact my health as a whole. So do it for yourself, do it for you. As a mum, I needed to be the best I could be in health so that I could take care of my family. And I was not in the best of health, prior to this. So know it, learn it, understand it, and then live it. It's so easy once you get it and once you understand it. And switching to this lifestyle, like it is a lifestyle. It's not just a 4-week fad thing that you'll do and, that's it. You have to incorporate it into your life. And we teach you all of that in the course. You go slow, you take it, you take it in turns, like you swap out products as they run out of your home, you talk to your family, you incorporate your family into it. We've got all the hints and tips about getting kids on board, with teenagers, with little kids. So just jump on board and don't let the fear hold you back anymore of doing it. And let us help you go and live this whole lifestyle, because it's just a game changer, I promise you. All right, I'm going to go and pop all the links into this, and I will see you over in Additive-Free Made Easy. Bye.